Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel Rag-venturediaries. My name's John. Today I'm in St David's City in the Pembrokeshire Coast National Park. I'll be catching the coastal shuttle bus down to St Bride's Bay and walking a 16-mile stretch of the coastal footpath back to St David's City, where I'll finish. This is episode 4 in the Coast and Coffee series, so why not come and join me?
Right, okay.
So here we are down at St Bride's Bay. This is the start of the trek. This morning should be between 16 and 17 miles. We got nice weather for it. Let's hopefully that stays with us and we capture some great views. But just look at the surroundings this morning, lovely. There's the castle that we've just span around. Lovely. So just leaving St Bride's Bay and heading out. We've got a 5-mile stretch over to Little Haven and then Broadhaven. This is the stretch of the coast path I've run many times. So we're coming up on an interesting feature, about a mile or so out of St Bride's, and this has evoked a lot of debate over the years about what this feature actually is. I won't say any more till we get there. We'll have a look at it and then I'll tell you what it is and debunk some of these theories that people articulate about this particular feature. Let's go and have a look. So what is that? Well, I've heard some pretty wacky theories over the years of people coming down to Pembrokeshire and trying to explain what that is. So what are some of the weird and wacky theories I've heard? I've heard that that rock acted as a runner for ropes so that smugglers could drag their boats ashore and drag their smuggled contraband ashore. I've heard that it was a sighting hole so that people could sight through there out to the horizon and see ships and somehow measure the distance. I've heard all sorts of things, but I'll tell you what it is. Pure and simple. It's a sculpture, okay? And I don't know if you saw, but you could see the mechanical fixing from the top half of that sculpture into the base rock, okay? So it wasn't an 18th century pirate or smuggler's aid to smuggling, because mechanical fixings and all of that in those days, no. Which gives you a bit of a clue. It's a sculpture, okay? And it was put up in the late 60s, early 70s, I believe, by a French sculptor, although I need to Google that just to confirm and fact check myself, and I have done that before. And it is absolutely a sculpture. Nothing more Machiavellian or clandestine about it than that. But I hope you enjoyed looking at it. I'll put some stills up so you can see the photographs I've taken. Millhaven. Makes you realise how big Cardigan Bay is. Wow. And it stretches out round that headland, which is St David's, all the way round. That boat's come out of Little Haven, and Broadhaven is over there, you can just see. So let's crack on. Nice warm temperature today, as you can see. But there's a nice cooling breeze as well. A bit cloudy and overcast. I think there's probably a 20% chance of showers this afternoon, but hopefully that won't materialise. Yeah, it's a nice day to be on the coastal footpath. Just heading down into Little Haven. There's a bit here where we've got to come off the coastal footpath and go onto the road. So we'll negotiate that, get down into Little Haven and bring you back when we're there. So here we are coming down into Little Haven, and the tide looks like it's on the ebb, and we can see the small headland there, the tide just lapping up against it. Maybe I can sneak around there on the beach, round the rocks, because that will save me going up through the village and round the road. So I think we'll go down onto the beach and we'll try that route and see how we get on, and try and keep our feet dry. Let's go and drop down into the village. village and across the beach. We'll have to see if we can get around the far headland. It's not this one I'm worried about, it's the next one. Looks like there's some people sneaking around, so it should be okay. Tide's on the ebb, so we'll be alright. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, happy days. Right, on to the far side of Broadhaven, then up over the headland. So this is Broadhaven, usually a very windy beach. You can see the tide's on the ebb, it's going out. It goes out quite fast here in Broadhaven. So we'll crack on now. About 6 miles in. What have we got? Another nine and a half to go, I should imagine. We'll try and find somewhere to have a cup of coffee at the halfway point, but you were going well, and we'll just keep it ticking over, show you the sights and sounds on the way. Here we go. Dropping down into Druidston now. That's 8 miles in, so about halfway there. So we'll think about a coffee in a minute. Whether it's here or somewhere else, we'll see. Let's see how busy it is really, and see if it's windy. So let's go and have a look at the beach. Now we're overlooking Knowlton Haven. We'll drop down into that one. Next step after that is Newgale. stop, you go. Steep climb out of Newgale. Right, next major stop, Solva over there. Come on, let's get after it. Here we are approaching Solva and the weather's clagged in big time. So I've done over 16 miles. Given that and the weather, I may look at cutting this trip short. It's another 4.5 miles back to the car, but I might be able to get the shuttle because there's no point walking in the wet just for the sake of it. And in that case, if we've got time, we'll have a look at getting a coffee in Solva, fulfilling the Coast and Coffee mantra, and see what time the bus is. Let's see what happens. So here we are coming into Solva. Given the weather, not really the weather to have a coffee as planned, we'll get the mobile phone out, get on the internet and see what the score is. make a plan when we get into Solva in the next 10 minutes. That's a UK summer for you. Here we go then, coming into Solva, end of the line I think today, 18 miles. That's not a bad walk. We'll have to forego coffee on this episode of Coast and Coffee, unfortunately, but I'll give you an update once I know what's happening. So hello everybody, here we are in Solva. I went into the town and basically put my Gore-Tex on and told myself to man up. We got 4.5 miles back to the car really, or Caerfai Bay, and then a mile from there up to the car, so 5.5. And let's just get on with it. Let's just get it done. Yeah, I'll bring you back along the route. Hopefully the rain will blow through and we'll be back there in a couple of hours. See you soon. 22 miles, Caerfai Bay. Just hoping that the car now is just a mile inland, hopefully, and that will draw to the end this epic Coast and Coffee. Okay, let's try and find the car. Well, there we go folks, that's a shade over 23 miles and we're back to the car, and that's been a long day in the boots. So without further ado, that's it from me. Into the car and home for tea and medals. Hope you enjoyed it. As before, like and subscribe if you want to see more of this content, and put something in the comment down below. What's your longest day in your boots and how painful was it for you?